Check 1, 2. All right, let's get the stream up. Chat. Patience. All right, hello everyone. My name is Dion Morales, host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we are here coming to you live from the Gold Squadron Classic. We were running a little late because internet in the building was down. And we had an awesome person here, part of the Moose Lodge, part of this organization, helping out the Boy Scouts, help us get up and running. So big thank you to him. And that's why we're able to come to you live. If you guys can help us out by sharing that link, that would be greatly appreciated. We're going to get you guys stats updated here in a minute as we get going. And today I'm joined by
Johnny Randazzo. Hello, hello.
Hello, this is Johnny Put Adepticon on My Back Randazzo, for those of you who do not know. So we're excited to get going here.
Veteran commentator at this point.
That's right.
Can I call myself that? Hello from the UK, says Fred Bettersworth.
There you go. And let's go ahead and get some things updated. Luckily, we have the players set up so that we can see their cards here. We can see that Boba Fett has taken 5 hull damage.
Yeah, this is a match already in progress. Things have happened. You can see the scrum already kind of in the thick of things, and we will get everything updated as soon as we can.
It looks like Wedge is still full. Dutch has taken 2 shield damage, and everything else seems to be up to date. Well, Boba Fett has really been punished in this game. Take a look at that, those 5 hull cards over there, and everything else on Charles' side is almost healthy.
Yeah, kind of what I saw is Boba Fett was not getting as many rerolls as maybe he could have been. He was taking more shots from a distance, and that could have been where a lot of the damage came from.
Yeah, you know, in second edition, those range 3 shots, they hurt. You know, especially ships like that used to auto thrusters and things like that.
Yeah, damage definitely goes through much more consistently, at least in the games that I've played.
All right, so let's go ahead and break down these lists. I know we're midway through here, but this will be a game we'll probably go back and re-record audio over to start it from the beginning. But yeah, so Tyler Shaw on the left has Boba Fett with Fearlessness and 000. Fen Rao with just Fearlessness, and Jakku Gunrunner with Contraband Cybernetics. And it looks like the charge on that is still up. And what is Charles running, Johnny?
Yeah, Charles is running a Rebel list. Kind of the biggest deal here is Wedge Antilles. I actually flew in a fun game yesterday with Wedge Antilles. What a phenomenal pilot, just hits really hard. The X-Wing has a great chassis, a lot of flexibility with the S-foils configuration. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of X-Wings going forward. Also supported by Dutch Vander in a Y-Wing. Y-Wing loaded out with proton torpedoes for that extra punch. No turret on the Y-Wing, just those torpedoes and an astromech. Kyle Katarn in the Hawk. The Hawk often has a role as a support ship. However, with the Moldy Crow title, 3 dice primary attack can also definitely put some damage out. And then Jyn Erso, which can change a focus token to an evade token on a friendly ship. And then finally, rounding out the list, Arvel Krynid in an A-Wing with Intimidation. I've seen that exact loadout on Arvel in a lot of different lists that we've seen at past times and seen during League Night. You basically run him in to other ships, and you still get a shot with his pilot ability, and Intimidation helps that damage go through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is just such a good synergy with Arvel, right? He wants to be at that range 0. He wants to be taking advantage of his pilot ability, which it looks like is what happened here. Charles got that A-Wing into a blocking position and is able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's not in a position to shoot right there, still being able to block Boba Fett so that he will be taking shots from the X-Wing. Just a great move there. I would say Charles' list is very versatile. There's a lot of variety in there. I think the trick for Charles is getting all of these ships to work together. They all have different dials. They all have, there's a variety of pilot skills. And so being able to fly this list effectively, I would say, is going to take a large amount of skill. I would say the key for Tyler's list is just keeping those ships alive. Boba Fett has taken a lot of damage, but is still hanging in there. Fen Rao, if you fly him well, can be very survivable, but it just depends. Keeping Fen Rao out of danger is going to be key for Tyler's strategy here. And then the Jakku Gunrunner can just run in, block.
Literally run in.
Block, tractor beam, get some shots off. A fun little 33-point support ship that can really disrupt, especially against the small bases that Charles is running.
I am in the middle of trying to get a couple things up and running again. We had to reset computer a couple times. I promise you this was all set up for about an hour or an hour and a half before we got going.
Hey, we've got a long day of streaming ahead of us anyway. Plenty of content for our viewers if they stay tuned today.
All right, so Charles flipping that Hawk dial. One forward, just keeping that arc nice and wide, making sure that he can use Kyle Katarn's ability, which I believe is allowing a friendly ship to fire at Initiative 7.
Is that what Kyle's ability is
that
now?
is Kyle's. We can double check that very easily.
We have the capabilities.
Oh, no, sorry, this is a different one. It says, at the start of the engagement phase, you may transfer one of your focus tokens to a friendly ship in your firing
Okay, so
arc.
very similar to Kyle's ability from before.
Yep.
And then does Jyn Erso work then to be able to change that to an evade?
Yes, so the Jyn Erso crew reads, if a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 would gain a focus token, it may gain one evade token instead.
Yeah, so this Hawk has the ability to hand out focuses or evades, and evades are going to be very useful, I think, for the X-Wing, Y-Wing, and even A-Wing, you know, if they find themselves in danger. We have people joining us from all over the world. It's late morning here. Obviously going to be afternoon or evening in Europe. So we see some people from Denmark, from Portugal. We saw the UK earlier. Hello to everybody joining in.
So here, Charles did a wonderful job anticipating Tyler's move here. That Boba Fett is going to bump into Arvel again, which means reducing that agility and probably getting that Boba Fett taken off the board here.
You know, my opinion on these A-Wings is starting to shift a little bit. When they were first spoiled, I was a little bit disappointed. They don't have a lot of upgrades available, and that seemed like a little bit lackluster. But we can see here Charles using those A-Wings ability bar very effectively to act as a good blocker.
Here comes Wedge. Looks like he won't be able to get that shot. Oh,
he's
nope, not going to fit.
Trying a Talon roll. Looks like it was blocked. So maybe a slight misjudgment here. We'll see how it plays out. Does he still clip Fen Rao with his arc? I think will be the question.
Right. Well, Fen Rao hasn't moved yet, so he's going to skedaddle for sure.
There it is. You're right.
Probably going to be coming around trying to take a shot at the Hawk. Yep.
Okay, so kind of just playing like a merry-go-round here with these ships. Kind of going in a circle. We see some effective blocks.
So for anybody who's joining us, we do have a full house here. 64 players was our cap, and next year we're planning on upping that. This is our first time trying to run a Gold Squadron sponsored event, and we're excited to do some more stuff like this in the future.
Yeah, I think this is a great event, especially right after the 2.0 release, essentially. Everybody's really excited, and anything goes. Lists are just kind of wide open at this point.
Call judge. Yeah. Alrighty, so use the that linked action on Fen Rao.
Okay, looks like we see deciding on start of engagement, passing a token from Kyle. You see both of these players leaning over the table, kind of judging distances and judging arcs, I would imagine.
Yep. That's probably one of my favorite things about X-Wing 2nd Edition is the fact that so much of it now is you have to look at it and see it on the table. There is no more gimmies, or very few of them. They're very limited.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I've noticed is really having to judge distances when it comes to actions, barrel rolls,
Yes.
boosts, target locks. Like you said, there's no gimmies, and if you misjudge that range, you could find yourself in a very bad position wasting an action.
So Tyler measuring range 1 to Dutch, determining whether or not he wants that shot or the Hawk. Dutch enabling those target locks with his ability, and looks like that's the call there. Range 1. Oh, no, looks like it was just out range 2. He's most likely not going to spend that focus on the attack. You want to save that for defense if you're sitting most likely range 1 or even just range 2 from an enemy ship.
Yeah, they've always said range 2 is dangerous for a position for Fenrau to be in. That was certainly true in 1.0. I would say that still holds here in 2.0.
And for anybody who's just joining us, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I know that we started a little bit late here because of our internet connectivity issues, but we're up and running. Please share the link to the stream. We'll be here all day.
All right, we're measuring a long-distance shot from Dutch. I'm guessing he does have Boba Fett's.
Spends the focus on the attack here. This is
This is
Boba Fett,
this
yeah.
is Boba Fett to Dutch, I see. Spending the focus, taking 2.
All right, so that's 2 damage on the Dutch. So Tyler committing to his original target, trying to take a ship off the board. And we did see a charge flip there from Charles. Looks like this is proton torpedoes coming in. 2 hits and a crit. Target lock, got it.
And changes one of those hits to a crit.
Got his 1 evade, but that Boba Fett is going down.
Yeah, so that's a huge chunk of Tyler's list evaporated off the board.
I mean, one thing that I'm really curious to see today, we have all the list. We're going to get you guys some stats and lots of information about how all this works out after the event. But I'm interested to see where ship count lands.
Yeah.
And how that relates to success.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think we're kind of used to that, like 3 ship. Right, here's the next coming attack. Looks like Kyle into Fen. Range 1.
And that Moldy Crow title gives him the 3 dice primary.
Defends, and there we go.
Free evade there.
Fenrau sweating. He has to put the team on his back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Tyler flies him now. You can't be too aggressive, but obviously you need to start taking out some of these rebel ships.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Gunrunner range 1 into Kyle. Looks like he's taking 2. Oh, spends the focus. Takes 1. Takes 1. And as we get into this this round break, I do want to say thank you to all of our Twitch Prime subscribers. If you guys know how to do that, go ahead and just want to remind you to click that button. It's literally free money. Donate to the Gold Squadron podcast. We're planning on hitting up a bunch of these hyperspace qualifiers, sorry, what are they called now? Hyperspace trials across the United States. And we're literally going to try to get to like 15 of them.
That's crazy.
That's the plan. And
rack up those frequent flyer miles.
Correct.
Speaking of ship count, I've started going through the list a little bit. In 1.0, we certainly saw a lot of 2-ship lists. I would say in 2.0, I'm seeing very few, if any, 2-ship lists. They seem to be 3 or 4. So far, I've come across one kind of tie swarm that has 6 ties in it. So I'd say the ship count seems to be certainly larger than it was in 1.0. And definitely the tail end of 1.0. All right, we have these players deciding on their dials.
Try that one more time. Working now? Nope. All right. Figure it out next. Alrighty, so let's take a look at Tyler's win condition here. He's down 86 to 27 right now. Fenrau is the heaviest hitter he's got. Just kind of looking at board position, I don't think the 4K fits past Dutch. If Dutch does something cheeky and tries to maybe do a self block with Kyle,
right?
But I guess Fen is stressed, so he can't even.
I was just gonna say, so Fen maybe just tries to get out of the way and come around for repositioning. A lot of times these high pilot skill, highly maneuverable ships are referred to as ace killers. So I think we might see Fenrau used in that regard, dance around a little bit and then come in and try to come in from a flanking position and pick off some of these rebel ships.
So one thing we did on the podcast last week, we played some over-unders when it came to the Gold Squadron podcast.
That's right.
Sorry, Gold Squadron Classic, and how some of these things will shake out. So we'll play a little over-under in the chat when we talk about the overall list and all that here. We'll start that in a few minutes. That'll be fun.
Yeah, like I said, list building right now, it seems to be wide open. There are, a few common lists that are starting to rise to the top a little bit, but generally we're seeing a lot of variety. People are really just trying things out, flying whatever they're comfortable with, and I think seeing that variety is building a lot of excitement for the game right now. You don't have like what you had at the tail end of 1.0 where there were a few lists that were kind of sort of top tier with everything else being secondary.
Yeah, that Dominic archetype. So with 35 minutes left, Fen has to kill, let's look at the points breakdown here, right? Fen has to take out at least 2.5 ships to have a chance here. I'm curious to see how Tyler is going to use the quad jumper. That tool, that one-time use of contraband cybernetics can be money, right?
Yeah, sure thing.
It can win you a game, but he's going to have to use it soon, especially because he's going to want to keep Fen out of the fight. The quad jumper is not that maneuverable, so it can very easily get caught somewhere.
Fred Bettsworth is calling the move reverse with the quad jumper and then tractor the Y-wing. We'll see if that's the line that Tyler takes. All right, looks like dials are set. Maybe a double check here by Charles. Charles, of course, having more ships to worry about in this situation. That tractor beam action for the quad jumper, that's a range 1 range restriction.
Yep, yeah, it's a range 1 restriction, and though it doesn't apply in this game necessarily, if you catch them in the bullseye, it is a double tractor beam. So essentially, so that you can move
medium
bases.
Yeah.
There you go. Or if you bring a whole fleet of quad jumpers, you can start doubling up on large bases.
There we go. Yeah, I think the tractor beam mechanic is very cool. When it was first introduced, definitely a lot of excitement about it. And it can be very disruptive. Moving your opponent's ships is a very powerful control technique, especially if you move them into a position where they're not able to fire.
Yep. So Tyler rethinking his move here with Fenrau.
Yeah, this turn, it is a pretty critical turn. You can see why it's taking so long. And here we have that gun runner moving. And it's just doing a one turn.
One turn. Looks like he's just trying to get in the way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Take away actions. Kyle can't hold on to focuses, especially if he doesn't have a shot. Here comes Arvel.
Two bank. Coming around that medium-sized asteroid.
Yeah, I think the idea there is he's going to get into position to start pursuing Fen Rao. It's his turn to bully Fen now.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to take away that agility, boy.
He's trying a boost here. Looks like he gets it in. We have a stray stress. Clean that up. Put that on Fen.
All right, here comes the Hawk. I don't know where that Hawk can go where he's not going to bump.
And looks like not really anywhere. Oh, we are going to mark. Maybe he might be
try.
able to leapfrog that gun runner.
Yep. Using that official corner marker. And, yeah, that might just get by.
Looks like it fits. Lock it in.
You're going to pull that ship off. Or not.
Stack it up. Yeah, I might have put another peg in there to get it to sit a little higher. All right, so that Hawk does move. Looks like the arc, the mobile firing arc, is pointed to the right, is how I'm seeing it.
And it's pointed toward the back.
It is pointing toward the back, okay.
Yep. Alrighty. Dutch trying to do that three bank as well. Is that what it is?
I believe so. So we're marked. Oh,
no, two bank. So he's going to be bumping.
So they moved the quad jumper to get the template down, and now they're going to see where this Y-wing ends up. Nice seeing players help each other out.
Oh yeah. All right, Johnny, I got to rev myself up. I was so full of stress. I'm trying to come down.
Yeah, man.
Trying to turn it on. Everything's fine.
All right, so we see that Y-wing bump.
So no action for Dutch, but definitely created a bit of a parking lot. We'll see if Fenn's able to get out of all of that.
Yeah. Looks like here Charles must have the initiative if he's moving wedge first.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good for Tyler. Tyler wants to be able to boost and barrel roll, boost or barrel roll. Can't do both with Fenn, to try to anticipate where he's going.
And there we go, the X-Wing barrel roll. New ability for 2.0.
And since we are in a transition period still for 2nd edition, we will be reminding of basic rules and things like that as we get going. So remember, when you do barrel roll, you do have to line it up with that center hash on the side of the ship, and then you have 3 choices.
Fenn is trying a 3 straights.
He should just get past.
Yeah, so they're lining it up kind of on the right side of the peg, getting around. Yeah, looks like he gets past everyone.
So anybody who's joining us and hasn't heard about our format today, what we're doing is 6 rounds. We're in 8-person pods. They'll play 3 rounds. All of the undefeated players of the pods will go into the top pod, and then we descend from there depending on record and MOV. The top 4 of the top pod will all be receiving Gold Squadron Classic templates and range ruler sets. The other 4 for going undefeated in the first set will be receiving range rulers, and then every winner of a pod after that will be receiving a set of templates. The person who goes 6-0 today essentially is our winner.
Sure.
Out of everybody. I'm super excited. I like this format. We needed something that would fit for one day.
Yeah.
You know, a one-day event. But next year, we're probably going to do 2.
That's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we see this event continue to grow. Obviously, there was a lot of excitement. We had this sold out.
Yes.
And, yeah, having this be a staple event around the Chicago area is very exciting.
Thank you, Lord Vogel, for your Twitch Prime subscription. All right, so 2 hits, responds with 2 evades, no damage. Oh, here we go, 3 hits, natties, baby. Quad jumper responds with spending that focus, and it's going to take 2. All right, quad jumper whiffs on his attack. In order for Tyler to get ahead here, he's going to need that quad jumper to try to contribute something offensively.
Yeah, just being a blocker is good, but putting damage out on Charles' list is a must at this point.
And now we're back to dials. So Fenrau, I mean, he decided to do a linked action last turn just in case he got shot, so no K turn. But he does have the hard 2s available, but I don't think that hard 2 with a barrel roll to the to his left are right. We'll get him around that rock.
No, I think he's going to take a couple of turns here to really get back into engagement.
So the decision that Tyler needs to make here is he trying to go for the win or trying to preserve MOV to try to stay in a competitive pod, you know, placement-wise?
Yeah, I would say most players play to win, but you never know because there's that extra layer at the tournament level of just keeping yourself competitive with everyone else. So it's hard to tell what's in Tyler's head. I think his maneuvers will clue us in a little bit. Yeah, with 25 minutes, though, that's still a lot of time if you're just going to try to play keep away. Especially Charles here, still 4 ships, can really build a net around Fen to ensure that he has nowhere to escape to.
All right, they're at dials, right?
Yep.
All righty. Alrighty, we should be back up and running now. Sorry about that disconnect. Anybody who's watching live. Again, the internet here is not 100% cooperative, so we're doing our best.
We are indeed. Looks like we have that Jakku Gunrunner activating. Trying to get in there with the 2-bank. Going to mark the Hawk.
Yeah, the quad jumper's job right now is just try to get in the way of Kyle and Dutch in order to try to give Fenn some time to take some shots.
Yeah. Fenn's coming around the corner there. The gun runner does have an important role. I think that was a sloop, if I read that correctly. So the gun runner is actually doing an about face and activating contraband cybernetics.
Here we go. Here's the here comes that tractor beam. Contraband.
So yeah, a bit of a tricky play here. We see the gun runner do the sloop, activate contraband cybernetics, and then lay down a tractor beam on the Hawk. That Hawk is now positioned almost directly behind that crescent-shaped asteroid.
Yeah, and there's no maneuver on that Hawk dial that's not going to hit that that asteroid.
That's right.
It's going to lose its action. Tyler wants to take damage, hopefully, and Fenn, with a 2-turn, might be able to get a nice range 1 shot on that Hawk.
Yeah, so very tricky play there. It looks like a good one so far.
Well, Tyler needs to do some uppercuts here. He needs to try to take some chances and get some ships off the board. If he can kill Kyle, or at least maim him, hurt him bad, that could definitely start leading him towards the possibility of winning.
Okay, we have a self bump here with the A-wing. He did execute a blue maneuver, cleared the stress, but bumped into the Y-wing.
This is huge. This Hawk is going to be stuck on this rock.
Yeah.
No action, no shots, most importantly, into the quad jumper. And Fenral's coming in.
Yeah.
I can see that hard 2 coming.
So Jakku Gunrunner pulling its weight with the control. Looks like we have Dutch moving next. Dutch, I think, is taking it nice and easy. Nice and slow with the Y-wing. I think we're thinking over actions here.
Yep. He has that red barrel roll if he wants to use it to get out of the quad jumper's arc, especially because Dutch has taken some damage. And he's deciding to target lock.
Target lock, so kind of setting up for later. He should still have 1 charge left on that proton torpedoes, is that right?
No, he used them both.
He used them both. Okay,
yes.
So the target lock is just for the extra offense.
And also, with Dutch's ability, he passes a target lock to a friendly ship. So it looks like that target lock went down probably on this A-wing. We might just not be able to see it because of the model.
All right, we see Wedge executing that Talon roll, pointing himself to get back in the fight. And here it is, Fenn Rau, 2-turn, that's blue.
There you go. And some water. Agua. Yeah.
So Fenn Rau really right in the face of the Hawk.
All right, focus, no link action, most likely after this. Oh, it's cash only, right? It's cash only? Yeah, let me, I'll take it later. Okay. Alrighty, so attack here from Charles, 3 eyeballs, no dice. Johnny came equipped with quarters. All right, range 1 there from Fenn Rau. You got 2 hits and a crit going into the Hawk. Charles looking for natties. There's at least 1.
Okay, so I think that's hit crit going through.
Yep, and we're waiting for that crit card.
Something pilot. Panic pilot.
Ah, double stress. That's what I am right now.
Yeah,
I'm a panic pilot.
That's right. double stress. Do some blues.
Panicked Pilot on their shield and a crit, down to 2-hull. You notice that the stats have changed on a lot of the ships here, including the Hawk that now only has 3-hull but got an extra shield.
Yeah, most of the ships I would say went the other direction. It was a bit more of a buff to the Hawk, granting them an extra shield.
All right, looks like 2 damage going in there on the quad jumper. No, sorry, 1 damage, sitting at 2-hull.
And here we have the A-wing. We'll see. Yeah, it must be that second target lock on the A-wing.
So there's 1 crit, evades it easily. By easily, I mean by 1.
All right, so Fenrau is doing okay.
Quad jumper still not delivering.
Yeah, it's hard with no modifications.
It is. You know, average dice on 3, you should have 1 hit, right?
That's true.
You should have 1. I know as a player, like when you see like the average not show up consistently.
Yeah.
All right, you're just like, oh, come on, come on. And I know averages work out over time, and there's those times you throw 3 hits and things. I know, it's just.
But sometimes
it feels worse when it's on the bad end.
That's exactly right. And so far we haven't been great at predicting the maneuvers here of the Gunrunner. I'm interested to see what it's going to do next. Moving first, of course, can be used to your advantage. You kind of know exactly where you're going to end up.
Now, let's talk about scoring a little bit. Tyler was able to close the gap a little bit, though Charles did get half points on the Jakku Gunrunner that turn. Tyler was able to take more because Kyle is worth more than the Jakku Gunrunner and got half there. So close the gap, only, a 49-point spread between the two.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and play some over-under in the chat here. We said we're going to set the number here at 6.5, and the question is, how many TIE Swarms do you think are here at the Gold Squadron Classic? And that's 5+ TIE Fighters in a list. We set the number at 6.5. Are you taking over, or are you taking the under?
How many players do we have here today?
64.
64. So it's going to be over or under 6.5.
Yep. What do you think, Johnny?
I've already started looking through some lists,
yeah,
so I'm not going to say.
You are biased. Insider trading.
Yeah, my stack here, I think I've got maybe 1/3 of the lists input.
And some people asking about why did Kyle only roll a single agility die that turn. That's because of the tractor beam that the Jakku Gunrunner hit the Hawk with, because we only had 1 die.
All right, split decision here in the chat. Some are taking the over, some are taking the under.
Well, some people are saying well over. Well over. All righty. Keep track of for yourself at home, and we're going to be publishing the results after today's event. All right, so Fen, here's the thing though, like Charles is in a spot right now where I don't know how he avoids a shot from Fenrau this turn. Because I think Fen, no matter what, is going to 4K. You 4K, you keep that arc nice and wide, because you don't want to risk Kyle just hard 2ing, and if you did it forward 2, and now you're stuck range 1 in a rear arc and have no recourse.
I mean, that is true. Fenrau, though, will have an A-wing pointed at him, probably an X-wing getting into range, possibly that Y-wing. The Hawk coming off the rock, so that could be a dangerous position for Fenrau to be in.
So Tyler putting the quad jumper in a position to threaten wedge. He doesn't look like he has range 1 in order to use the tractor beam array. He's taking a good look there. Remember, you can fail actions in 2nd edition. And once you failed your action, you have lost it.
Yeah, judging distances is so crucial to the success of flying any list in 2.0.
And he has decided to just take the focus. He believes it's range 2. I think it's range 2 as well. It's like just outside.
From here, it looks like it.
All righty, here is the Hawk. Just a 1 bank. That puts that rear arc pointed to the back. It creates a really big net for Fenrau.
Yeah, and I think this move makes sense. Give yourself the highest chance of getting a shot onto Fenrau. A-wing 2-turn, anticipating, kind of leading where he thinks Fenrau is going to end up. He's got a green token in his hand, but he's thinking over repositioning.
Well, if you boost there, you definitely risk Fenrau just going forward 2 and blasting you with 5 dice.
Yeah, so I think he is anticipating Fen to go fast. But we shall see.
So yeah, he's using that A-wing ship ability in order to get that boost as well as doing another action. And the name of that is the Vectored Thrusters ship ability. It says, after you perform an action, you may perform a red boost.
All right, Y-wing's turning away. And here we have wedge activating.
Oh, he calls it here. Only 1 forward. That quad jumper is getting blasted.
Yeah, so that sheds the stress, I believe.
Yep, yeah, that stress shouldn't be on the board.
And then grabs a focus. Fenrau, 3 bank.
Oh, wow, that's a lot faster than I thought it was going to go.
3 bank bumps into the A-wing. Does the A-wing get a shot here?
The A-wing is going to get a shot, and so is Kyle Katarn.
Wow.
We could see a dead Fen here.
I did not see that 3 bank, but you'd have to think the way that Charles flew that he saw it coming, or at least hedged that way.
There's 4 dice. That's a wedge into the quad jumper. And Tyler's only going to have one dice. That's 4 hits. Quad jumper's gone.
That's a dead quad jumper.
Direct hit, direct hit.
Quad jumper did some work. Certainly played the game that he wanted to play. But now being taken off the board, you'd have to see Tyler as coming from behind now. Or as facing the situation of having to come from behind.
Yeah, and with only 9 minutes left on the clock, at this point, it's just grab as many points as you can and save as many as you can. So no damage into Dutch there from Fenrau at range 3.
Now he has the choice here of the Hawk or the A-wing.
Doesn't matter, dealer's choice. Both going to be unmodified shots on each other. So it looks like this is the Hawk, 1 hit, 1 on 2, safe. And here comes the A-wing. Should be 3 dice on 2 again because of intimidation. So it looks like maybe the A-wing is not going to use his ability to fire there. All right, so no shot. Do you think maybe Charles forgot Arvel's ability there?
I'm trying to decide if maybe it's not actually in arc, but from here it does look like it's in arc, so hard to say.
Might just be a missed opportunity there. It happens. It's a competitive day, right?
Yeah,
you're thinking about a lot.
That's true. It is just surprising because that's why you run Arvel.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, maybe Charles in his mind is just thinking it more of like, this is my intimidation tool, not necessarily about the synergy.
Could be. So Fenrau came out unscratched from that encounter. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, the nothing happened.
Yeah. So
I'm sure Tyler is happy about that. If he's noticed that Arvel decided not to take that shot. Even though he did have the Concordia face-off ship ability available,
sure.
It's only one guaranteed evade.
All right, dial set pretty quickly here. That Hawk is staying close.
And that's going to relieve the stress. Kyle's no longer panicked. He's not freaking out anymore.
Next up, we have the A-Wing 2 turn. We'll see if he tries to get in the way of Fenrau again. Focus to boost. Grabs the stress. These players are playing much faster now. You can see the motion of their hands and getting the templates down is a bit faster. They are mindful of the clock, as we are, coming into less than 6 minutes.
And when you get into this this high stress time, you know, you wanna make sure that you have enough time to do your stuff. And Tyler needs as much time as he can get. He wants to try to get at least 2 more rounds past this one if he can get it.
Yeah, and Charles playing along.
Yep.
Moving fast to keep everything sportsman-like.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I saw that Y-Wing put its template down, maybe measuring for a target lock that it was failed.
Failed, yes.
Here we have Wedge coming in. Wedge takes a target lock. And Fenrau 1 turn.
Fenrau versus Wedge.
Yeah, so
he's got the barrel roll available.
I was going to say barrel roll seems to be the play here.
Oh, just a focus.
Takes a focus.
YOLO. He could have barrel rolled and then focused. But I think Tyler has.
Here's Wedge, 3 crits. Spends the lock.
Taking 1 crit because of Concordia face-off.
Direct hit.
So he's going to be down to 1. Sorry, he's going to be down to 2. Took 2 from the direct hit. All right, Fenrau coming back. Looks like only 1 hit. Fearless gives him 1, and he spends the focus, making it 3.
2 evades. So Wedge gets by, only taking 1.
Wedge will take that all day.
Yeah. And back to dials. So Charles racking up more points here by getting 2 damage on Fen.
Yeah, I mean you're just trying to get all the points you can. And Charles, for both these players, Charles is just trying to seed himself as high as possible, give himself the best chance of success. Because this is only this game, he doesn't know how the other ones are going to end up.
Absolutely.
We got tons of prizes here for the players. You got the Gold Squadron Classic. We're going to be showing some of them off here on stream in between rounds. And again, we want to thank you guys all for joining us. And if I could have a good friend share our link on Reddit, that would be fantastic. Again, we're in the middle of trying to still get things settled here for us on the ground floor. Thank you to anybody who's taken the time to share the link on Facebook, in their chat groups, or on the forums. So Charles choosing to rotate the arc, focus and link into rotate arc, I believe is what he just did there. No, just the rotate. He already had his double focus.
Yeah, with that Moldy Crow title, you still get to store focus. Only up to 2 now.
No, so he did do the link. Okay, so there's a stress token.
It's not like 1.0 where you have a stack of 20 focus tokens, you know, piled up next to the Moldy Crow.
Right. All right, so here is the Y-Wing, just turning in, just trying to create a net for Fen Rao. Charles wants all those points.
Yeah, so we saw Fen Rao be aggressive last round, and we'll see if that continues to be the line for Tyler.
So we have the 2-minute warning now. There are no timeouts in X-Wing, though.
Not going to stop the clock here.
Nope.
So we see Wedge. That's a tail and roll.
Yep. They just create. Charles is opening up the net. Fen Rao cannot get out of this. Every lane is covered.
Yeah,
oh, he might have the boost here. The 3-bank. Oh, it fit. All right, boost focus. I mean, unless you're just, oh no, he says no.
No, he's out for blood.
I'm here to kill some ships. Here goes Wedge. 1 crit. And Tyler flying, letting Charles remember his miss trigger there of Kyle's ability, and Tyler shaking his hand there. Going ahead and calling the game.
All right, so a pretty good match here. I think Tyler's flying, you know, a fairly typical scum list that I think we'll see.
Sorry, we end with 5 hits from Fen Rao to the Y-Wing, killing the Y-Wing.
Yeah, why not?
Sorry, I saw the handshake. There we go. That's the official handshake.
Yeah, but Charles' list with all of those, that versatility, I think really worked to Charles' advantage. He really flew it well. Maybe some mistriggers here or there, but getting all of those ships with arcs pointed at enemy ships worked out to be able to take out this scum list.
So we do want to say hi to everybody. How's it going? We're having a great time here. We got our internet issues mostly solved. We should be starting from the beginning for round 2. We're super excited. We're wearing our official Gold Squadron podcast shirts and everything.
Yeah, we'll be here all day. Stay tuned. We'll have plenty of good lists and good flying here for the rest of the day, and this is going to be a great event.
And I do want to remind you that all of our stream games are brought to you, #1, by our patrons. They're the largest group of supporters of the Gold Squadron podcast. They are the reason why we can travel from coast to coast, because I can't afford it on my pocket.
Sure thing.
So if you want to be a part of that group, go to patreon.com/goldsquadron. Other ways you can support us: become a Twitch Prime subscriber if you have Amazon Prime. Super easy. It's literally free money. It's like the only place I've found where you can give away free money.
Yeah.
Right. We did find a nickel here, so this is going towards the fun. All right. So we got 1 nickel in. Thank you for helping us out. We'll be back. Timer's out, so we'll probably be back in about 10-ish minutes.
More or less.
More or less. We'll be back